channel Learn Right Away by Sutapa. As we have discussed in our short video that how magnet has been discovered. So discovery of magnet will be discussed thoroughly here, and some of its properties like characteristic and its properties and what is a magnet. All these basic things we'll cover in this chapter. So this is the 13th chapter of your big class 6 science NCERT book, and we'll cover it today in a very short and crisp manner. So discovery is generally not as such important thing, but for fun you have to know. So how it is generally discovered? A shepherd named Magnus was there, who was generally grazing his sheep in the jungle or in the grazing area with a stick having in his hand. The stick is having an iron cap at the bottom area, which is generally helping him to graze the sheep and to gather the sheep. So one day he found that his stick has been stuck to a rock, and it was quite harder for him to free the stick from that rock, because the rock is having magnetic property by natural things or by God's gift, and it is attracting to the iron. So it was new for him, and it is generally said that after his discovery, we get to know about the magnets. Though his name was Magnus, so we come to know that magnetic property. That's why magnet is having his name after the shepherd's name only. Okay, so this is one story. Another story is also there, that the natural rock, whatever is having the magnetic property, is generally known as the magnetite, and it is found in the area known as Magnesia. Okay, so Magnesia is an area where generally the magnetite rock is found. That's why it is after the name of the area Magnesia, magnet is having its name only. Okay, so these are the stories behind it. Whatever is true and which is not, we don't know exactly, but some stories are there, so we have to consider them. Okay, then our actual magnet story starts. So there are four, actually we are using generally 4 type of magnets. So there are so many type of magnets are there also, but for daily use, daily purposes, we are generally using 4 type of magnet. Out of them, what are they? Let's consider. First one is your bar magnet, second one is your cylindrical magnet, third is your horseshoe, fourth is your ball ended magnet. Okay, so let's discuss one by one. So first consider the bar magnet. So for before going to the magnet shape and size, you have to remember a key point that every magnet has 2 magnetic poles. One is north and other is south. Okay, so one magnetic pole is showing towards the north direction and other magnetic pole is showing towards the south direction if a magnet is suspended freely in the air. Okay, so bar magnet is also having north and south pole. So one is north and other is south pole here. Exactly same manner, cylindrical pole is also having 2 poles, 2 magnetic poles, north and south. And in horseshoe magnet, this is generally a shape of horseshoe. That's why it is called as horseshoe magnet. So it is also having 2 poles, 2 magnetic poles, north and south. And in ball-ended magnets, generally the 2 ends is like a ball of that magnet. That's why it is called as ball-ended magnet. So it is also having north and south poles, north and south magnetic poles. Always remember magnetic poles. Okay, though it is there inside the magnet, that's why it is called as the magnetic poles. Okay, so next we will discuss about the properties of materials. The properties of material is generally divided into 2 types according to the according to the characteristic of magnet. Means the materials which is being attracted towards the magnet is having said to be the magnetic property, and the materials which is not attracted towards the magnet is said to be the non-magnetic materials or having the non-magnetic property. Okay, so generally 3 type of materials or metals are being attracted towards the magnet, that is known as iron, cobalt and nickel. Okay, there is a short form, you can remember FeNiCo. Fe means ferrum, ferrum means iron. Okay, then Ni means nickel, Co means cobalt. Okay, so Fe-Ni-Co means iron, nickel and cobalt are generally the three type of material which is attracted toward the magnet. Other than that, none other materials are being attracted towards the magnet. Okay, so only these three things are having the magnetic properties to be attracted towards the magnet. Then comes our natural and artificial magnets. So the natural magnet which is existed in our earth, naturally having the magnetic property, are said to be the magnetite rock, and artificial magnet is being derived from itself also. Okay, means from the magnetite rock by transferring its magnetic property to another iron metals is said to be the artificial magnets. Nowadays we are using so many artificial magnets, but the natural magnet which is available for us are known as the magnetite rock only. Okay, then comes the characteristic of the magnetic poles. So generally we have discussed there are two magnetic poles, north and south. So two poles have some characteristic, means the north pole of a magnet will always attract the south pole of the another magnet, but it will repel the north pole of the another magnet, because same pole will never attract, same pole will always repel and opposite pole will always attract. So this point you have to remember. The magnet has two poles, two magnetic poles, one is north, other is south. North magnetic pole will attract the south and north magnetic pole will repel the north magnetic pole. Okay, so these are the two key points you have to remember. Then how we have to handle the magnets, means if the magnet is being dropped from a height, or if it is being heated, or it is being hammered, then it generally loses its property of magnetism and it don't act like a magnet anymore. So we have to handle it carefully. If you are placing two magnets at a time at a place, means you have to place them in a pair and you have to keep some distance between them by separating them with a non-magnetic material like wood or cardboard, etc. Okay, and if you are placing the horseshoe magnet anywhere, then you have to cover its pole with a iron metal or a iron rod or a iron plate. Okay, so these are the handling tips for handling the magnet, whatever you have with your daily life. Okay, whatever you have in your daily life, and generally the magnet should be handled with care. Okay, next we will discuss about a magnetic needle or a magnetic needle used instrument. Okay, so we have already known that in the ancient era people generally travel through the oceanic route or the you may say the water medium. Okay, through water medium they travel from one place to another, but there was no such route to travel in the, as we are available in the land route. There are no such route in the water medium or in the oceanic routes. So how they generally travel? They use the compass to get the direction, in which direction they have to travel. They get through the compass only. So compass is having a magnetic needle inside it, and already we have known that if a magnet is suspended freely in the air, it will show the direction of north and south. Okay, its north pole will always direct towards the north pole, and its north magnetic pole will always direct towards the north pole, and south magnetic pole will definitely direct towards the south pole. So by this way they can know the direction and they can travel from one place to another. Because inside the compass also the needle is being is being suspended at a height with a fluctuating metal. Okay, so it is generally in such a position that it can freely show the direction with the change of direction in the oceanic routes. Okay, so generally it is used in the ships for the navigators. Generally it is used in the ships to get the direction by the navigators. Okay, so there is a diagram you can see. The compass is generally this type of instrument, a circular instrument, a very small circular instrument, and it is having a magnetic needle inside it. Generally one end is showing north and other end is showing south direction, and other directions also there, and by the reflection of the needle they can able to know the direction in which they are moving. Okay, next is how to make a artificial magnet. Means magnet is there. If you want to convert a iron to a magnet, then how to make? Okay, so a iron rod suppose you are having, then you have to suppose you can take the example. I am taking two pen to show a example. Suppose this is the magnet you can consider, and this is a iron rod. Okay, so you have to rub the iron rod over the magnet like in this way. Okay, in one direction, then you have to take it off and again start it from the front end to the bottom end. Okay, so in this way you have to rub it up to 30 to 40 times till it gets the magnetic property, but you don't have to move in this direction. Okay, in the to and fro direction you can't move, and this, if you are moving in this direction, then it will not get the magnetic property. You have to move in a singular direction, means it is coming from the front to bottom, then again it is coming from the front to bottom. Okay, in this way you have to move so that it will get the magnetic property, and by doing it for 30 to 40 times, you will naturally get the magnetic property in the iron material also. And you can if you are not still getting the property, then you can do it for more times, then you will get the magnetic property. And if you are transferring a needle into a magnet by doing such thing, then you can do a artificial compass by yourself also. How? You have to take a glass of water and you have to take a small cork and get the needle inside the cork. Okay, suppose the cork is like this, and you have a magnetic needle like this, and you have to insert the needle in the mid part of that cork. Okay, so needle is in between the cork and cork is having the magnetic needle, so it is freely having the needle. You have to float the cork on the water surface of your glass full of water. Okay, then it will generally show you the north and south direction. So this is also a type of compass which can show you a north and south direction with its magnetic property. So this is all about your chapter, and there are so many stories also there in your book, and so many examples they have been cited there. So you can go through your book, and if you have any queries or any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. And if you want to know something more, then also you can ask in the comment section. Okay, so if you are liking my videos, then please like, share and subscribe with your friends, and share with your friends and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Okay, thank you so much and namaste.